Okay, so this is going to be a tutorial showing you how to make MIDI files in the free version of FL Studio. The first thing to do is download FL Studio from this website right here. And when you first open up FL Studio, it should look something like this. If it doesn't look anything like this, first thing we're going to do just to set this up, make sure we're on the same page, is go File, New from Template, Minimal, and then Empty. So that's going to load up an empty project. Your windows may not look exactly the same as me. So what we can do to fix that is we're going to go View, close all windows, and then we just need the playlist and the channel rack. If your windows don't look like they're arranged in the same way, go ahead and drag them so that they are arranged somewhat similar so you can follow along. Now the first thing we're going to do is drag in our audio. So I'm just going to go to my File Explorer and I'm just going to drag in the waveform right here. You can move around the waveform wherever you want. I'm going to move it all the way to the left here. I'm going to drag it to the top. Next thing you're going to do is go to the top left here where this is the BPM number. We're going to set the project BPM to be the same BPM as whatever our song is. So I know that this song is 130 BPM, so I'm going to drag this down to 130. So you need to make sure that beat one of the song actually lines up with the one here. So if you listen here, it starts on a kick, and that's where I want my animation to start, so that's where I'm starting this MIDI file. So we have the audio in there. Next thing we want to do is get a pattern in here that will contain the MIDI files. So I'm going to click right here, click on pattern 1, and then I'm going to click right here, right under the audio. I'm going to drag from the right, drag it out to the length of the audio. Next step, click right here and set this to all. And then we're going to add a synthesizer that will contain the MIDI data we're creating. So we're going to go plus, and I'm going to do 3x OSC, just going to be a simple sine wave. Load that in, and we can exit out. So now we have if we click spacebar, we can listen to the song. So we got the pattern in here that's going to contain our MIDI notes, and we have the synthesizer right here. So how we open the piano roll to create the MIDI notes is we click right here. So you can see if I click here and click again, it's going to load and unload the piano roll. The 1 on the piano roll right here corresponds to the beginning of the track right here. So let's say I want to first make the MIDI for the kicks. We're going to play the song and just click notes. I'm going to make this shorter. I'm going to zoom in with Control Scroll. I'm going to click notes where I hear the kicks land, and it's going to line up to the grid for the most part. For the majority of songs, all the drums are going to line up to this grid. So hit play. So there we go, easy as that. I just paid attention to when the kick hit, and it's just going to line up with the grid. You can change grid resolution with this magnet icon right here. Typically, like kicks will line up with the step grid resolution. You can go less or more. And also when you zoom in or out, depending on how you have it set up, it'll show more grid lines. So let's Control Scroll. So if we listen here, I'm going to increase the pitch here to C6. Easy as that. So we did the kicks. We're going to do another one for the snares. We're going to click plus on the channel rack. We're going to click 3x OSC, exit out of that. Click here to open the piano roll for that channel. So I'm going to click, and then let's do the snares. I'm going to do a separate pitch. This is Control left click to highlight. I'm going to do a different pitch for the snare just so I can hear what's happening. So there we go. It obviously doesn't need to line up with the pitch of the song. And we're going to do one more, and we're going to do something a little bit harder, which is going to be those really fast dubstep stabs. I'm going to add a new 3x OSC, exit out, click there for piano roll. And to me, it sounds like, I'm going to go ahead and make these a little bit shorter. There we go. So we're going to go. I'm going to mute these other two just so I don't hear them over the top. I'm going to go ahead and do those ones too. And I'm gonna copy these over. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick to make this a little bit easier if your music is too fast. So if we listen right here, we have this bongo type of thing. You can hear it's pretty fast. It's going to be hard to create a MIDI pattern for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down the tempo of my project so I can slow down the audio. But first, I can't just move this slider. I have to double click the wave form right here. This menu is going to pop up. I'm going to click right here on mode, change that to stretch. Now I can exit out. Now I can change this slider freely and the audio will warp to that tempo. So I'm going to slow this down to like 50. Now it's super slow and I can easily create MIDI for that. So let's click here. So it sounds like it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to increase the resolution here so I can see, so I can place notes. So that's all of our MIDI created. So if you've done this slowdown technique where you change the tempo so you can line up MIDI notes, you need to make sure to change this back to the original tempo before you save out the MIDI files. So I'm going to change that back to 130 and now I can save out the MIDI files. So I'm going to click on the first MIDI file here. These are my kicks. I'm going to go File, Export as Score Sheet, change the type to MIDI, and I'm going to rename this to Kick. Save. I'm going to click on my next file here. So click from here to here. These are my snares. File, Export as Score Sheet, MIDI, call that snare. I'm going to do it for the dubstep stabs as well. Call that stabs. And I'm going to do it for the bongos. Now that we have all those saved out, I can open up Blender here. And I've got Mr. MIDIman open already. We're going to do new channel. I'm just going to rename this. And now I can load up the kick MIDI that we just made. And you can see that if I copy and paste this as a driver on the kick, there we go. Obviously I can change the ADSR values in here, but I won't bother with that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and sync up everything else to show you that all the MIDI was created right. Let's see if everything syncs up. There we have it.